Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right. It's been a while. So let's see if anyone shows up. I haven't really announced this time. It's been incredibly busy and trying to get things in order with a bunch of different stuff. So welcome all three of you. Hopefully there's more that show up. All right, yeah, we got more already here. Great, awesome. Hey everybody. So I'm gonna be getting back to this sculpt that I was working on a while ago. I guess it was probably over a year ago that I was working on this, and then I worked on a bunch of other stuff on the stream, and I really want to finish this off amongst the others that I've started and haven't finished yet. But that's how this goes, right? That's how often projects go for a lot of artists. You start something, and then you have to figure out a way to finish it, or just let it go. So I want to nail this. I want to finish it off. So I'll do as much as I can in the next hour or so. I won't be able to stay for 2 hours today, unfortunately, because other work calls. But I will do what I can in the next hour or so, and we'll go from there. So if anybody has any questions, curiosities, feel free to ask them in the chat, please. And we'll go from there. And yeah, I see that the bottom graphics still say ZBrush 2021, so I should probably remove that, I guess, because we're obviously in 2022. So what I'll do is yoink, just move this over a little bit for now and leave that as is. I wonder if I can I stretch this with, sorry, I just didn't think about this until right now. I just noticed the year difference. Yeah, there we go. All right. How about we just have it say ZBrush? There we go. All right, there we are. Okay, so disaster averted for now. Yeah, okay. So please feel free to ask any questions if you like, or what have you. I'm just going to throw on some music for myself to hear. And if you'd like to do the same, feel free. Let me know how your Sunday's going and where you guys are from. You know, what state, what country, what city, what the weather's like where you're at. It is typical sunny, beautiful day here in California. Hard to complain. Hard to complain about the weather out here. All right. And you guys can hear me okay, I'm assuming, right? I'm seeing the levels go to the right space. So for those who don't know, this was originally started out as a concept I did a long time ago on my own here at home while I was working on the more official version at NPC for Lion King. For big beautiful scene where Mufasa comes to Simba in the clouds, and this was kind of like, you know, this was going to be like a representation of what he would look like in the clouds, but it never got put into the movie because we didn't have time to have the team who does Houdini. They do like, you know, like volumetric simulations, all that. They didn't have enough time to put that together for the film, unfortunately, but I put together some really elaborate storyboards, used all these sculptures and models for that, and sent that all, of course, to Jon Favreau to review, and he apparently loved it, and a lot of other people along the chain saw it and loved it and thought it would have been great. And it was just a really bittersweet moment to have very kind words said by somebody who I respect and love his work, and to hear other people say the same thing. Well, so it was very nice. But then the disappointing part was that, of course, it couldn't make it into the movie for time's sake. We just didn't have enough time to have the whole pipeline go through what they needed to in order to make this, you know, animated reality that looked realistic. So this is one big part that just hit the cutting room floor. So since then, on and off, I've been working on my own reimagining of it, because I feel like it just is such a cool challenge to have Mufasa kind of, you know, look like a more realistic-ish sort of version of his cloud self. So here we are, and I'm still like looking at this sometimes. I want to make this a print to give to John. Like, that's the goal of this, is to print out something that will be beautiful and a really nice desktop piece to have, a nice little maquette. But even now looking at this, I'm like, the clouds are so big and still he's small, but that's also to give the scale that he's huge, you know. But um, I don't know. Now I'm just looking at this, I'm like, wonder if I should make him bigger. But then that kind of diminishes the clouds around him that are supposed to be like this, almost like a tunnel to heaven kind of thing, you know. So I don't know. But it's ZBrush, we can always play around with scale and whatever else, and then just bring it back down too. So I don't know. But anyway, what's going on here? Okay. So anyway, so I think I'll just try that right now. Just see what would he look like if he's a bit bigger. And then what if I guess there were I forget how to fix this too. This is a new thing in ZBrush that I know they changed, I guess, in this new version. These buttons are freaking huge. And I'd rather them be smaller, but I don't know if that's something I can edit. I actually haven't asked Paul or anybody how to do that. I should ask somebody because it's like buttons. Um, but anyway. All right, so I see there's like 25 of you guys out there. Where are you guys from? Give me a shout out. Like what state, what country, what city? You can type in the chat if you like. Ah, CJ, thank you. It's in preferences, okay. Where in preferences? I guess it's somewhere be like Gizmo or something. Gizmo 3D. Gizmo size. Ah, large icons. I guess that. Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Thank you. Indiana, Boston, Florida, moving to Denmark. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that, CJ. I should save that then. Store config. Save UI. There we go. Cool. Thank you. I also need to download Startup Master again for this version because I don't think they have it. Z Startup. Yeah, no, because that's like every time I start it now, it's just like the regular old black to white gradient. But anyway. Yeah, so anyhow. How's the weather in Indiana? I'm guessing it's cold. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I know they're pretty chilly right now. And in Boston, I love Boston, man. That's such a great town. I love that city. I've been there many times because I'm a Formlabs ambassador, so I've been to Formlabs headquarters a bunch, and I'm lucky to be pals with a bunch of people there, and I've gotten to explore the city a lot, and I really love it. I think the city's awesome. It's like a bigger, cleaner New York. Well, maybe not bigger, I should say smaller, I guess, but it's just I don't know. It's just it's like I mean, I hate even saying it relating it to New York. They're both very different cities, I guess. But if just I had to think of another big city, New York's like literally, physically, and in many ways allegorical, or very similar to Boston in some ways. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I love Boston. Great city, cool people. Yeah, hard to not fall in love with it, I think. So why, and also Ernesto, why going from moving from Florida to Denmark? Why to Denmark? I mean, I'm sure it's cool. I've never been, but just curious. From Cameroon, wow. Austria, wow. Ice and snow, yeah. In Indiana, yeah. Just got your Form 3 Plus printer, nice. Awesome, dude. Congratulations. Super exciting. From Greece, hello. I love the Greek. The Greek are wonderful people too. Beautiful, intelligent, awesome people. Sculpting toys, Ernesto. Oh wow, so you're gonna be sculpting stuff in Denmark. Wait, Denmark isn't that Lego headquarters, right? Isn't Lego headquarters there? Are you gonna be working for Lego? That'd be fun. The other challenge I've been thinking about with this thing is like, all right, it's already kind of elevated because this whole chunk underneath this is going to be clear. I'm gonna make it like glass. I don't think I'm probably gonna use like some sort of smooth on product to so I'll 3D print it, mold it, and then use smooth on to cast this whole thing. And they're kind of like, I guess it's called glass rubber glass or something. So it's like super clear, crystal clear, looks like glass, but it's not like, it's not, it's hard. I guess it's probably more like rubber, from what I understand. Um, so I'm probably gonna do that. So the elevates, it gives it God rays, but it also elevates it above just being flat. It's just clouds on the surface of whatever you lay it on. But it's still like, if you're thinking about it as a human being looking at it on a desk, you're still gonna see it kind of like this. I guess it looks still cool. But I don't really want to tilt everything. Like, I could take everything on top of the glass, the God rays, and like tilt it up so it looks more like he's angled at us. But again, I don't know. Let's check, I guess, to see what it would look like. I don't know. Just thinking, because like when you look at something, you're obviously not usually at eye level with it. You're always a little bit above, unless it's a massive statue. So in reality, we've seen something like this. I mean, it's cool. You're always going to be above it slightly. Hmm. Hmm. Decisions. I don't know. I mean, I guess it still kind of works tilted because his head is looking down, so it still gives the feeling of him looking down to his son. Um, Maybe a happy medium? Hmm. I don't know. Interesting challenges here. I guess I'll leave it tilted for now, at least slightly. I don't know, what is that, like a 25-degree angle? Maybe 20-degree angle, something like that. Um, Toys, mastering ZBrush for a new endeavor. Major toy maker. Cool. New endeavor. Awesome. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Hello, everyone. Hello. Ever used Geomagic Freeform? Can't say that I have. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure. Sorry. CJ wants to go in your suitcase. Do you find that studio folks understand the rough nature of blackouts and looking at concepts? Studio folks understand the rough nature of blackouts and looking at concepts. What do you mean blockouts? Or what do you mean blackouts? What do you mean by blackouts? Sorry. And looking at concepts. I mean, I find in general people have a problem with I mean, when I say people, I mean non-creative people, non-imaginative people. They almost want to they need to see what looks almost finished, or like very close to, in order for them to grasp what it could look like. I mean, those of us who are very creative naturally use our imagination a lot. So you show us a sketch and we can envision a more finished piece. Still, of course, it's never exactly like what it'll look like, but we can use our imaginations. But apparently, there are people out there who just don't have extremely good imaginations, unfortunately. And so yeah, sometimes if they're executives or people who are just money men who don't have a creative bone in their body, they have no idea what you're describing verbally or drawing roughly. So that can be really frustrating because they don't seem to be as trusting maybe until you have a proven track record with them or have something to show them that's like, much closer to what it's really going to look like in the end. Um, I don't know. Does that answer your question? Um, do the good rays, the God rays, as alternating texture to simulate light and shadows. You mean like rough one up and keep one crystal clear? I mean, that's a good idea, actually, is to have and probably have them at different depths, I guess, too, not just like one gigantic, perfectly symmetrical piece, but like have some indented and some pulling out. That would definitely be cool. I think that's a good idea. I was toying with that, but I didn't really take it too seriously. But now you mentioned that, it's like that's a good idea. Thanks. I'll probably use it. At least it's an option too. Could have two different versions of it. One that would have like like piano keys pressed different levels, that kind of like stair stepping, staggering kind of like, but random. So it's not just like it's not like a staircase, obviously, but random levels, depths. I think that'd be pretty cool. Um, it would be cool to leave hollow so a colored LED light could be inside. Yeah, I'm already planning the LEDs. They're going to be inside, behind the head, so the eyes will light up like lightning, kind of. You probably have a little bit pouring out of the mouth as well. And I'm gonna see if I can hollow some of the inside area, because originally how I envisioned it was like lightning. And this was like an idea. It wasn't like crystallized or like it wasn't like decided on by any means by anyone. But it was an idea I had, which some people said maybe it's a little too on the nose. But I kind of like it because I'm an anatomist. I love anatomy. I love animals. I was thinking lightning would kind of, you'd see like a lot of storm happening in the heart of Mufasa, where the heart would be, and then also kind of going up a chain, almost like the spinal column, going up into where the brain would be, kind of in the eyes, and kind of like seeping out almost from the eyes and from the mouth as he's speaking. Just kind of like the electrical life energy kind of just flowing back and forth a lot, or maybe even pulsating a bit, in some really cool way. So not too on the nose, but like still like this cool inference of like you see almost like a nervous system of the lion. It's like almost like a real anatomy of a nervous system, but like electricity pulsing through it, kind of. But again, not too on the nose, more like rough and kind of, so if you're an anatomist or you're sharp, you're eagle-eyed, you'd get it. But for most of the audience who wouldn't, they might still kind of get it, but not be as like, they just more see like lightning. So I don't know. I had some really cool, like really exciting ideas for this whole scene, and I really, it's such a heartbreaking moment that it just didn't happen. Um, but who knows? Maybe I'll do a little like version of it, just that scene, just recreate it in Unreal, just to show the world like this is what was in my head. Um, because it was really beautiful. I mean, and like the whole thing's already kind of like given to you in a silver platter by what was in the original film, and my whole sequence of storyboards just sort of helped bring a full circle understanding of when he said, "Look at the stars," the dead kings of the past are up there. So I made sense with the star entering our atmosphere, like it descending into Earth. So the star being his soul, kind of like rocketing down into our atmosphere and like interacting with these clouds and lightning, kind of almost like a covalent kind of magnetic, electromagnetic kind of reaction to the shooting star, which is just Mufasa's soul. And then it kind of like almost like this beautiful gaseous sort of explosion, like gentle explosion, if you will, and over that massive lake, and then the lake kind of pulsating with water, with from air, from like almost like a helicopter hovering over water. You'd have these concentric ripples just constantly pulsating from Mufasa's presence up in the clouds, pushing the waves toward the camera, toward where we are with Simba, and then just also having like the water kind of kicking up, but just like a helicopter flying over, like a massive helicopter, almost like a small hurricane, but not having the water getting sucked up or anything, but just like this really powerful yet gentle, controlled force, you could say, of just like this pulsating air, and the presence of like a godlike presence kind of being here, so very intimidating and powerful, yet all that power under control and like a gentle spirit. So I thought it was like, it would have been so freaking cool. Um, so anyway, that's the idea. So like just to at least embody some of that into one statue here is the goal. But anyway, sorry. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Or you could tint clear resin with dye, yellow, orange, red colors. Yeah, something like that. Blockouts. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought. Exactly. Depth and texture. Yeah. You bake the lighting in that way too. Yeah. I guess that says net, or is it K silent? Kinet. Hello. Tattoon. Hello. Um, was the shape intentionally brain-like, sort of Michelangelo's thing? Oh, you mean the shape of the clouds? No. It's funny. You think of that way, and I didn't really even piece it that way until you said that. Um, no, but yeah, you're right. It is very much. You're right. It's totally. Wow, cool, happy accident. It's totally like if you took a brain and cut it in half, you saw one of the hemispheres. Yeah, it totally has that look. You're right. Um, man, that's cool. No, I didn't even think that way. But I mean, I guess it's a happy accident. I'm not sure what the mind of. I mean, I guess you could say it's the mind of Mufasa, the soul. Where does the soul reside in the mind? I guess so. I mean, sure, you could probably make some poetic, metaphorical connection here. But no, it wasn't intentional to be brain-like. But yeah, it totally has that appearance now that you say that. Oh well. Um, it's cool. Now I'm just seeing how it's a little to the left here. I'm just gonna correct that, giving it a little bit more of a tilt to the right. Keep it a little bit more centered. I think I wanted to have it off-centered a little bit to give it more natural feel, but I don't know. At the same time, I feel like there's something nice about having it be a little bit more symmetrical at its horizontal area here, underneath the paws. Something that would be cool. I mean, I guess they kind of have it with the floors. Would be like a grid that we could put over things or in front of things to like align vertical or horizontal lines at times. I guess we could do that with a grid here, like we flip things around, I guess, and make the grid bigger. But it would be nice just to have something like that just to turn on and off very easily. Again, I use these lines on the border as that sometimes too, so that's why I move it down here, because this horizontal line that's the frame is something that can be utilized for that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool actually. I kind of like, now that I'm seeing it with this angle from the side, I kind of like that slant. Kind of gives it almost gives it like a weighted feel. Kind of makes it feel like there's, yeah, it gives it some gravity actually, which is kind of cool. Like heavy clouds. Granted, I guess clouds, when they get too heavy, obviously they rain. Anyway, yeah, and I kind of like that I've enlarged him because, like, again, I think most, if anyone has this on their desk, you're gonna see it like this most of the time. So you're not gonna be looking straight on. So you still see the tunnel of clouds, but it's not so much like that as which it would have been if it was just like totally horizontal. Um, yeah, it's ugly. Must have been an accident when I was going through. Oh yeah, over here too. Too harsh of textures. Um, why do your hands move like that in the cam? Like some Matrix effect. Oh, is it like staggering when I move my hands? Is it like, oh yeah, you're right. It's like choppy. Yeah, I don't know. It's because we're in the Matrix, man. We're in a simulation, didn't you know? Uh, no, I think it's probably the software that I'm using. I guess maybe that it's kind of maybe what I chose. I think let me look here quick because I think what I chose was I turned on anti-flicker. That's weird, but maybe it's okay. So I put priority to frame rate over exposure. So I click exposure. Let's see how it changes. It's a little bit brighter, or a lot brighter. Now frame rate, so it should be smoother, but I guess there we go. Is it still doing it? Doesn't look like it's doing it anymore. I don't know. Oh man, I look tired because I am tired. Sorry about that. It's okay. You didn't come here for my beautiful face. Well, it's gonna be awesome, Daniel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bernini hairstyle. Yeah, kind of, right? Um, You like my interface colors? Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Thank you. Yeah, I want something that was kind of like mint colored, you know, sort of like I like the coloration that Maya has actually when you select a mesh. It's like a bright, vibrant kind of minty aqua green sort of color. So I try to emulate that a little bit in ZBrush. It's just a bit more soothing too than the bright orange. Like I like orange in some cases for certain things, but is all the buttons it's just a little bit too abrasive visually for me. So I like something a little bit more toward the blue green, you know, color spectrum. Um, Also, like the slant sort of has the feeling that he's emerging from the den or cave plane of existence. Thanks. Yeah, no, I think it works actually. It's yeah, it's kind of just giving it a different feel. It adds something I think that just keeping it completely like 90 degrees sort of makes that more boring. So you always have more, you know, like Art 101 when they tell you about like if you ever taken an art history class, you know, they'll show you if they're a decent teacher, they'll go through you know, classical paintings, of course, and then some of them, I forget who these painters are. That's how good of a student I am. I forget, but they would show you these paintings, and they'd ask you initially when you were like a freshman in college or a junior, I mean, or a sophomore, um, which painting's more dynamic, which painting's more exciting. The one where everyone's in like this diagonal, like about to hit somebody, bringing the bat back, like these moments of actuation, like before things happen, or is it when they've already hit somebody, or something's very like vertical and horizontal, and it's like obviously the ones with dynamism are the ones that are dynamic, diagonal, things with motion and angles and off center Dutch angle, you know, like you have all these different things that um you know play into dynamism and energy and action potential, you know, that kind of like the moment before something's about to happen, just like the anticipation of pain is usually worse than the actual pain, unless of course we're talking about supreme torture. um so that's not funny, but I'm laughing, sorry. Dark sense of humor. Yeah, so there's always going to be those kind of things where diagonal brings out life, energy. It also just throws the brain off a little bit because since we're around man-made structures so much, and we have to walk primarily on horizontal planes to be stable. It's just a natural thing where your brain understands. Okay, natural is like vertical, horizontal, comfortable. Angles, hills, destabilized. Brain has to operate more to stabilize, to keep your body upright, to preserve liquid from spilling. Like immediately there's like a more mental engagement with things that are not just horizontal or vertical. So, and things that are static looking versus things that are in motion. Brain again, fight versus flight, protection, self-preservation versus stability, calm, home, den, safety, blah blah blah. So yeah, so dynamism is always like diagonal movement. Anyway, so you get it. Sorry, I'm probably just repeating myself. Yeah, so anyway. Okay, so now I'm intrigued with this idea of like messing with this. So can always do a duplication, hide that one so we have a backup of the original. And now I've made this very symmetrical, and now I want to go asymmetrical. So where to start? Actually, let's just isolate that for a second. So I made this super basic because I just wanted it to be clean, and except for this area. Ugh. What happened here? Okay, so I guess I had some edge loops that were tight against one side, and now they got shifted down somehow. Let me see if I can delete those and remake some so that it gives a cleaner result. I just like things to be tidy. Because it also comes from working in production a fair amount. You always want clean topology whenever you can. Oh, multiple subdivision levels. Derp. Oh, maybe that's how it shifted. So if I go up. Oh, wow. Okay. But it's still the same shape, right? Because I didn't do anything to it. So I'll just go back down to the original and delete the higher. I think I was doing that too to get just at least some curves on the corners and not just have them be like super, super sharp. Let's see here. Took art history freshman year, had some of the same experience, yeah. Or oh, what is that called? Gestatism? What is it? Gestationalism? Our brain perceives horizontals and verticals as predictable while angles get attention because they're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know there was a word for it, but now I know. I should definitely memorize that so I don't sound as ignorant. I knew it conceptually, but I didn't know there was like of course there has to be a word for it. Like, it makes sense. But that's cool. Gestaltism. Sorry, there we go. I couldn't read because it was so tiny. The text is kind of tiny in the chat here. Um, that's cool. Also, I'm just looking here at the monitor and making sure. Can you guys see the window, the complete window of ZBrush? So I'm making sure because I haven't streamed in forever since like last year. So just making sure that this is all you can see everything okay, I guess, right? Um, all right. Anyway, let's see if I can delete this edge loop now. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. Interesting. Yeah, I think I did that to add some little bit more form to everything, but clearly it's not helping everything. Please share some tips on Gizmo tool. Sure. What would you like to know? Not sure, like what everyone's looking for here. I'm getting hot because I'm sitting in front of this computer and I'm drinking hot coffee and I don't have my fan on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna step away to turn on my fan. I'll be right back. Okay. Um, okay, so tips on the Gizmo tool. Yeah, what would you like to know? I mean, once you hit move or you hit like what is it, W? Yeah. You've got your Gizmo tool and yeah, I mean, it also just depends. Like, so there's Gizmo tool and there's also the Z modeler brush. So that's what I'm using right now. So um apart from the Gizmo tool, which is something you get when you hit W, if you hold space, if you select Z modeler tool brush, right? So that's down here, right here. So if you go over edge loops, it'll highlight them: edges, polygons, and vertices, right? So your three main components of any, polygonal goods. So if you hover over a edge loop, hit spacebar, and Z modeler brush, excuse me, you get all these different options here for the actions you could take on the selected target, which would be your edge loop, your polygon, or your vertice. So in this case, I'm hovering over this edge loop, so I hold spacebar, and now I have all these options, the different operations we can do on that target. So in this case, I say I want to affect polygons, actually, is what we want to do. Because I want to push in and out. QMesh is one way. I honestly don't use QMesh a ton, though, because there's certain things I like about it, certain things I don't need all the time. So I prefer to take more deliberate actions, like targets, when it comes to this, because QMesh is a little bit more intuitive. It has its own sort of rules. So like right now, let's see here. If I just took this polygon and pushed it inward, it pushed it in, right? And that's fine. I mean, that's kind of cool, actually. But if I did it on another one, so if I push it in further, it'll snap, but then it'll snap to another predetermined degree, which in this case I'm not really feeling. So I'll undo that. And I guess I want to get out of symmetry in that this piece is very symmetrical itself. So now I probably want to add some edge loops in different areas that are like different widths apart so that it feels more like natural light as it's, emanating from through clouds. So, so I guess it just becomes a more organic you know, it becomes less mechanical, because this is very mechanical right now. Obviously, it's just very symmetrical, solid shape. So what we probably want to do here is do an insert. Or I guess an inset, or like an opposite extrude kind of thing, right? So we just push in. But then the challenge is it's leaving that area down there, right? So it's like, it's a bit of an issue. I wonder if I delete that edge loop, if that'll take care of it. Let's see. No, yeah, it's still going to leave that little lip, so I'll just have to delete those. It's a little annoying. So that's where, again, QMesh has its pros and cons. So like if I go back to QMesh, I think it kind of gets rid of those. Yeah, see, that's kind of cool. Just automatically chops those out. But then it's also aligning it with this next edge loop here. I should have deleted this. Why didn't I delete that? So that's where I guess, again, a more organic setup would be better for this, rather than just this very symmetrical mechanical alignment. So let's do an insert of an edge loop at a different depth. I think I'll just start doing stuff like this. And I'll probably even like drag some of these points, slide them a little bit more so the light doesn't just feel like it's, again, just so uniform, but that it's a little bit more like, you know, organic and random. Rushy Z is saying, hey, I just upgraded from the core to full ZBrush. Would you have any recommendations for resources to quickly get me up to speed with all the new features? That's a loaded question. What? I mean, it's like, hey, I just got a brand new car. Teach me everything that's in it. It's kind of hard. Where to start? I don't know. What would you like to know? Any recommendations for resources to quickly get me up? Okay, so resources, like courses, I guess. I mean, of course, go to pixelogic.com. Maybe it's maxon.com. I'm sorry, I haven't been up to date on all the. I hope they haven't changed the website just yet. But go to Z Classroom. Um, how long is this piece of string? Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, go to Z Classroom. That'd be the #1 place, and ZBrush's YouTube channel. I mean, it's just the most direct, surefire way to get instructions. And if you have any questions regarding specifics in ZBrush, people for some reason never think to, very few people think to check it, but the Z docs, so the Z documentation, that's online, and it should as well come with your copy of ZBrush when you download it. And that will have a searchable, especially online, you can just search in ZDocs any question you'd have. So like any operation, as long as you know the proper naming for whatever operation you want to do, you should be able to just search it in a little search box and get a whole list of topics that relate to whatever operation, you know, whatever type of task you want to do in ZBrush. That's, you know, that's the more self-guided tour. If you want someone to kind of hold your hand a bit more, then of course, like Z Classroom has nice compartmentalized, you know, areas to guide someone through different types of techniques and processes. And yeah, the YouTube is just, you know, YouTube is just a plethora, just a total, you know, maze of just YouTube in general has just you know, an insane volume of tips and tricks. What's his name? Man, another artist who's just fantastic. I can't think of his name right now. It's Michael something. I'm sorry, forgive me. He's worked a lot with ZBrush, and he has just a fantastic knowledge of information and some tons of great videos out there. Michael something. My God, I'm sorry, I forget his last name right now. I'm tired. It's been a long week. But he's you know, he's done a lot of demos with ZBrush directly. So you'll find his stuff. And of course, Joseph Drust has done a lot of videos, Ask ZBrush videos with ZBrush. So you can find a lot of his videos on a lot of different topics there too. If you search the hashtag Ask ZBrush, you'll find a lot of common questions, or maybe not even that common, but you'll find useful questions and answers with that hashtag. So definitely look that up. Thank you. Yes, Michael Pavlovich. Thank you. Jeez, I'm sorry, Michael, if he ever sees this, or anyone else who knows him. My apologies. Yeah, his stuff is great. He's fantastic. Very fast, very clean and concise. Super useful. So if you haven't looked at his stuff, what are you doing? Go check it out. It's great. Um, I think Shane Olson has, I'm sure, just, I mean, it's like, I don't watch a lot of other streamers, sadly, just because I'm usually working a lot. I'm busy. So I don't typically, so it's no offense to anyone. It's just, I don't watch anyone, really. But it's not like, it's not like I think I'm better than them or nothing like that. It's just, I'm usually just working a lot. So I don't have, when I'm working in ZBrush, I don't necessarily want to see someone else working in ZBrush. At least not speaking to me and doing that. I usually am watching, listening to a podcast or have a movie on or something else, you know. Other than what I'm already doing at the moment. But that's not to say that there's a devaluation of their work or their stuff. So all that to say, Shane has some great stuff as well. He operates a lot more in the stylized like characters, a lot like Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks. He used to work for Avalanche, I believe, which was this great. I think it's Avalanche. Sorry, my brain's confusing because there's like a couple companies that worked on this fantastic game that I always remind him of that I love that he worked on. This video game called Tack and the Power of Juju. Hilarious game, hilarious name. But the artistry in that game, and a lot of it's from him, you know, and you can clearly see the influence of his taste, and I guess vice versa, maybe other artists, whoever the art director was, clearly had a very clear vision for how the art direction would look like in that game, and it's just phenomenal. It's just great character design, very ultra stylized, very fun, very memorable, but still like unique and original. It didn't feel like ripped from Disney necessarily or from Chuck Jones, or you know, it just felt like its own thing, but still really attractive, really appealing designs. So again, Shane is just great if you want to go more into a less realistic, more stylized, like I said, Disney-esque kind of look. Look up Shane's stuff. You know, he's got his own very successful, very great website with a lot of courses and information about character design. And it's just, I can't even encapsulate everything he has in there. It's just, he's a great resource though. Like if you're talking about great resources, look up Shane Olson. He also has some great stuff in here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He has like the Zoom, what is it called? The Z, the zoo. I'm sorry, something like that. Something with the zoo, the animals. Where is it? Like, there's a whole project here, I think, that just has the Z Zoo. Okay, there we go. I knew my brain was somewhere on there. So here, bam! Look at all this stuff. This is all Shane. Just an incredible contribution to the community, where you have these just look at this. I mean, it's just bananas. It's just so many animals that are all in Z-sphere form, which you can just, of course, mesh very easily and then start modeling with. So this is just a beautiful, I mean, what a generous operation, a contribution, and just how useful. I mean, just fantastic, right? It gives you such a great base mesh to start. Just you mesh these, or you edit them. You just add some more Z spheres, or take away some Z spheres, or move them around however you want, and then click, you know, adaptive skin down here and get going. You know, like it's awesome. I kind of forget it's there because I often don't really go straight to that, but it's if I had that when I was just starting out in ZBrush, I would be using it all the time to learn how to make animals and mess with Z spheres. It's just, you know, it's a great resource. Like I'm just even reminding myself now, next time I need to do an animal, I'm going to jump into the Zizu and pluck something from there probably and start working with it. Unless I'm given another model to start with. So yeah, so there's a lot of resources. It's almost like just, yeah, which one to pick first. You know, so anyway. Sorry. Oh, so someone's asking what am I working on? Sorry, display all. Sorry. Um, how much I need time to start earn from design, Instagram posts, and logos? I'm not sure what the question is. Next Raptor 16. Sorry, can you rephrase your question? Ashley, yeah, sorry. Um, Shane Olson, yeah. How much I need time to start earn from design, Instagram posts, and logos help? Sorry, yeah, you have to rephrase your question. How much time do you need to start earning from designs on Instagram posts, I guess is your question, and logos. I don't know. Again, that's like how long is a string? You know, it's not a question that's an easy like cookie cutter answer. That's super like as wide open as you could get, I think. If you want to start making money from designs that you're putting on Instagram, I mean that's contingent on how big is your following, what are your connections. I mean, there are people who have great careers who have almost no Instagram followers. You know what I mean? Like very low numbers. So I wouldn't equate high numbers, legitimate high numbers, because a lot of people who buy their followers too and have bots and like phone farms and other crap that help feed them artificially inflated numbers. Um, so, you know, how you would make money from designs, it all depends on so many factors, like how good are your designs? Again, how many people are following you? What kind of connections you have? You know, there's so many variables. There's not like one answer, and there's not an easy answer for how and when you would be able to start making a decent amount of money from, you know, showing work like that. So, sorry, there's not a better answer for you. Um, but yeah, there's an easy answer for that. Because there's just not like there's not one size fits all kind of answer to that. Um, yeah, so Ashley, sorry, I'm working on Mufasa again for if I think you I think you've seen this before. Or not Ashley, sorry, ask was it Ak Shay? Sorry. I saw from the corner of my eye I thought it was Ashley. It says Ak Shay. Ak Shay, sorry. Um Rushy Z. Love the sound of that. Definitely check it out. Thank you. I'm working in game dev and mostly work as a programmer, but packed up shop to go independent. Start of the pandemic, absolutely fallen back in love with ZBrush. I used it when I was studying 7 or so years ago, and it's just so incredible. Working on an iPad Pro and mirroring my PC to it. Cool, awesome, yeah. Okay, so what tablet am I using? I'm using a Cintiq Mobile Studio Pro right now by Wacom. It's about 16 inches, but I think the screen is actually 16, so the whole device is a bit bigger because you have about an inch or so on either side. Um, Bezels with buttons and that kind of thing. And I love it because I can take it off and then do work from my PC and just do my work on my couch. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty powerful machine for what it is. Obviously not as powerful as a PC with like a RTX 2080 Ti, or that's what I have in this machine. I need to get a 3090. So obviously not that powerful, but pretty strong. I mean, I can do ZBrush on it, no problem, like all day. All right, so anyway, yeah. So next, Raptor, I think I answered your question. For learning anatomy besides muscles, how would one practice skeleton and bone markers? It's would sound excessive to sculpt a whole skeleton. Would it make more sense of learning it in a 2D way and overdrawing it out? Chubby Fox Toby. For learning anatomy besides muscles, how would one practice skeleton and bone markers? That's a good question, man. I mean, observing real life, of course. As far as like a no duh kind of answer. Not trying to be rude. Just life drawing, really. It's because there's a certain amount of irrelevance to 3D versus 2D when it comes to just accurate, as an artist, accurately replicating something you're looking at or something that we all look at. It just comes down to knowing the body well enough and knowing the human form or any form that you're trying to replicate, knowing it well enough from visual 2D, from your own eyes looking at it, which is sort of 3D, I guess, but you're looking at something in the real world and then you're trying to be a human photocopier, basically, right? You're trying to replicate that somewhere else via your hand and your eye brain connection. So when it comes to that and training, you're asking really how to train your mind to understand how to replicate something. I found it to be incredibly valuable to spend free time for years on and off drawing people, drawing humans, still life. It's that's one thing that's helpful about like spending a certain amount of money on a course, or even just paying for like sessions to go to life drawing classes at any art school or any university that has life drawing. Granted, depending what state you're in right now and the whole COVID lockdown BS that's still going on, I'm over it. we need to you need to find a place where you can just go bring a big drawing pad and sit on one of those, like, art horses. I don't know what you call those things. I forget, those giant chairs where you set up your tablet, your drawing pad, and just look at some naked person or clothed person, whatever. Obviously naked's better because you're looking at all the bone landmarks and whatever, but I think that's where you're going to learn the most, as far as like bang for your buck, time versus effort put in. Of course, you can do that in the computer. And of course, you can do it in ZBrush. You can bring in photos of art models of people posed. Um, Sorry if you hear any background noise. My window's against the outside of a area where people hang out. um, there's a bunch of resources out there, but yeah, I would say looking at real life, whether you're looking at photos of models, um, or if you're doing life drawings with real people, whatever, just get out more. I think it's good to see real people. That's the best way to do it, I think, for bone landmarks, for anatomy. And then, of course, if you wanted to look at the bones, like they have a skeleton here in let's see, in tools. So right here, there's a Ryan Kingsling skeleton that's still there. I feel like there's another skeleton in here somewhere, isn't there? Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I'm just thinking of like Nick Z's great. It's probably just in tools here, like his great human anatomy. Because he has a skull in there. So I'll show you like this. So yeah, there's a skull. It's just a skull, and it's not even like, it's just very smoothed out. But it's great topology, and it's a great model to start, working from if you wanted to study like the skull, the human skull. I believe there's teeth too. Yeah. And he has much better, much more useful models than this even. But his he's great too. He's a great anatomist. Like Nick's a great guy. He knows a lot about anatomy and has some great pieces. Oh yeah, this is my Cupid piece. Something else I wanted to get to. And man, we're already at 3. Jeez. All right, I'm gonna go soon. But man, time flies. Sorry, I didn't really do a tremendous amount on this stuff. I was just talking mostly and answering questions. So let me see if I can do a little bit more experimentation here. Oh wow, that took it deep. Okay, so yeah, because it's dealing with where the next edge loop is. So if I want to insert one, have it be not so pushed back in. And even like this, it'd be cool, I guess, just to bevel these too. I think that'd be awesome. So do like a bevel. I don't want to do complete edge loop though. How about just partial? Interesting. Let's see how that looked on the top ends here. Did that just terminate it some? Oh, okay, so it just did it like that. All right. Interesting. Okay, so it bridged that part up. I see. Okay, I don't want to do that. I just kind of want to add... So maybe if I just insert another edge loop here. And I guess another here. And then I Q-mesh that inward. Come on. Nope. Oh, there we go. That's kind of it. And then I gotta delete this guy. These two, because those are just open planes. Delete. Okay. Nope, didn't want to do that. I want to delete half of it. Well, I'll just close the hole then. Delete that guy. And delete that one. Autosave. Okay, sorry, I know there's a bunch of questions in chat that I missed. Close these holes quick. Go. All right, so that's something. not quite what I, yeah, let me undo that all, because that's too, still just too, like, pointed. I'm going to have it a bit more inward. Yeah, probably a bit more like that. Wait, why did that go away? Stop, come back. Hmm. Guess what I kind of want to do is I want to have like cut that in half, really. Trying to think what the best way is to do that. I guess I could split the. I'm trying to remember how to do this now. It's been a while. Is there a way to? There's a way split, right? Is it split? No. Oh, that was delete. That's why I did it. Okay, yeah, I want to split, right? Is that right? The polygon split. Yeah, I guess that's it. Ugh, that still looks not what I'm looking for. I just want to do a triangular split. It's just a simple. Shoot, man, it's been a while. What else? I mean, maybe just doing the Q mesh again. I guess I don't know. It's been a while since I tried to do this because there's like a certain way things will collapse, and it just makes it so much easier. I guess Q mesh can do that. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. There we go. But again, it's sharp. I wanted it more. Or I'll just do the old-fashioned way. Let's do a good old manual edit here. When in doubt, manhandle it. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess that's what I was thinking. I don't know. Just trying to like not have it be so sharp. Both for aesthetics and safety. So I don't hope someone's like dropping this and like it pokes a dog or something. Like, geez. I'm gonna try to keep things a little bit more child friendly here, just in case someone puts it on a desk with a small creature, small living thing nearby. I don't want it falling off and hurting anybody. Although, granted, this will be probably out of glass rubber, right? So yeah, it'll be safer. Still, eyes are sensitive. All right, so just checking that out. Okay, there we are. So just want to flatten that out. Jeez, come on, work with me. There we go. All right. Guess I could just do the planar brush, I guess. Could work here. It's just so low poly. The planar brush seems to like higher poly counts, but let's see here. Where am I doing here? Planar. This guy big. Hold Alt, tap, let go of Alt, drag. Yeah, that worked. Nice. So a planar brush, if you don't know, let's say you have a like that, like you have a point that's above a surface level that you want everything to have the same uniform surface level. You just select your area that you want as reference, so that is the flat plane you want. Tap Alt, click, and then drag, and you can let go of Alt then, and that'll just flatten out anything that's beyond, that breaks that line of surface. Excuse me. Anyway, sorry, let me see what else is in chat, and then I'm probably going to bounce here in a few minutes, unfortunately, because I've got to keep it short today. So sorry, not a ton of progress here, but again, hopefully this was helpful and informative to everyone watching. You can make money A-level skill. You just have got the right find clients and dedicate yourself to building up your skills. Yeah, of course. Yeah. The piece you're working on is absolutely beautiful. Thank you. I'm trying. You know, I really want it to be a beautiful. I want it to be a beautiful piece. You know, I really. I put my heart into what I was working on in Lion King, and I mean, the movie meant a lot to me. The original really meant a lot to me as a child. It was '94, so I think I was like 11. And my last name is De León, which means of lion in Spanish. So there's sort of that little, you know, that little funny little check mark there in my life. My website is lion-arts.com, which reminds me I should probably put that in here for everyone to see. So if you'd like to keep up with what I'm doing or life in general, you can find Instagram. It's one of the best places to find me. So this is my Instagram handle. I should actually put IG before this. So you guys can follow me on there if you like. I'm going to try to do better about posting more fun stuff throughout the year. Can't promise, but I always try to post stuff that's interesting, or at least somewhat interesting or pretty to look at. That's my IG, my website, if you guys are curious. Try to keep it updated. I usually do a pretty good job of it. It's lion-arts.com. And those are the two. I mean, that's really the primary spots you're going to find me. I have Twitter and I have Facebook, but those seem to be just very angry. Not for me so much, but just in general, it's just angry places, because we're so pointlessly divided in so many things politically. I think we all need to come together more and find that we have more in common than we do apart. I think we all want the best for each other in life in general, as long as we're all sane, loving human beings. Yeah, so it's just sad to see that Facebook and Twitter have become such hostile environments. But I think they don't have to be, of course, and I try not to contribute too much, but I share my opinions, because it's like, I believe in freedom of speech, you know, and I believe also in being kind to people, trying not to antagonize anyone uselessly. But also I think arguing online is so pointless. I'm tired of arguing online, so I don't really engage in arguments. So if anyone wants to, too bad. I'll share my views. If they don't like it, that's fine. You know, no hard feelings. But anyway, I think we need to find more balance and love for each other than divisiveness, because dividing yourselves amongst each other is not going to help anything in the end. What's that phrase? A house divided cannot stand, right? Rocking a 3070 and a 3090s are just so damn pricey. They're stupid expensive. But I think for my work, I'm gonna have to get one here sooner than later. I'm gonna have to pull the trigger on it. To be honest, I wanted to ask you about ZBrush Transpose tool. Too much confused. Okay, Tatoon. It's okay. What do you want to know about the Transpose? So we go over here. So let's see. So this is your Gizmo. And then if you hit, oops, not T, sorry. What is it? Q? Yeah. Not Q, sorry. Man, it's been a while. Good Lord. Now I'm embarrassing myself, because it's like, what is it that what is it that you even do to transpose, right? Wow, wow, I haven't done this in forever. Good Lord, this is scary. I've been so apart from too much detailed in ZBrush, just working in too much detail lately, because it was the holidays, and then other things were just in Maya-centric for so long. Like all the work we did in Spider-Man and all the work we did in so many other movies that are coming out, it was all so Maya-centric, actually. Which I'm like, you know, I'm proud to be, I'm proud to be a part of those projects, of course. And anyway, but sorry, my brain is just like fried right now too. Good Lord, what do you do to change over to your? Wow, I can't believe that. I'm having a senior moment here. Wow. What are you saying here, dude? Your Albert Einstein post is so inspirational and sad, man. Yeah, right. I know. Sad because it's true. Yes, thank you. Z-Mauler is a pain in the ass. Yeah, it can be, but it's very useful. I think. Okay, Lord, why am I having this problem with my memory for how to switch back to wow, this is embarrassing. Because it's been so long since I've had to do anything with the transpose line. Help me out, guys. What do you Wow, this is so basic too. I'm sorry. It's just I always read the Z-Modeler now. It's like I hardly ever go to transpose anymore. What are we doing here? What is the freaking My God, this is terrible, right? So embarrassing, but it happens. Um, Michael Popovich. No, I'm obviously not, unless Michael forgets how to switch to the transpose line after being in the Gizmo forever. Um, wow, why am I forgetting this? Good Lord. It's just a brain fart right now. Right, the switching colors. See, this is why I should have stopped at seven at 3:15 because I'm so tired. Yeah, what is the command to switch to the transpose line? Good Lord. Why am I having that brain fart? It's not T. No. What am I forgetting? Good God. I'm sorry, guys. It's just shows you when you're out of practice, you're out of practice. And it's like I'm gonna be starting up again with DD here shortly again and getting back into the groove. Now they're gonna question hiring me again. I'm like, wait a second, he's forgotten how to get to the transpose line? It's Y, right? Okay, thank you. Good God. What is wrong with me? All right. Jeez. So what was the question? Sorry, someone had a question about the transpose line. Clearly, I don't remember how to get to it, but now thank you for crowdsourcing that information. Um, how might be of service? Wow, bad. So embarrassing, but it's okay. We all have these moments. Thanks for taking the time to answer my question, Daniel. Got to get back to sculpting. Really appreciate your pointers. You're welcome. Um, are you the one who asked about the transpose line, or did someone else? Who was it? I'll just rush through that quickly, and then we can, I'll have to bounce. Yeah, okay, no problem, man. It happens to me all the time too when I stay up. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm sleep deprived. That's a big part of my issue right now. I've been patching my sleep back together because there's been nights where I stayed up really late, and then other nights where I'm working on stuff, and my brain is not operating at full capacity. So, who asked about the transpose line? Was it Rushy Z, or was it someone else? Where's that question? Okay, Tattoon, right? Okay. I wanted to ask about Z transpose tool. Too much confused. Okay. So Tattoon, Z modeler brush, okay. So Tattoon, are you still here? Do you have any question I can help you with? You're like, I'm not gonna see this guy now. He doesn't know shit. I don't know what you want to know, but I'm here to help with this. I did use this all the time until they invented the Gizmo, and then I have to switch to the Gizmo for the primary usage of all this. I should at least do a little sculpting quickly, just to at least show that I'm capable of sculpting. Um, Clouds is a whole thing, man. That was a challenge in and of itself. I remember I had the hardest time just figuring out how to make clouds look like clouds. Because it's not something you typically sculpt a lot. Uh, it's often something in CG that's simulated. So you have something like Houdini, other apps that are just extremely geared toward accurate volumetric cloud simulation. It's not something you typically mesh like this and then sculpt. So it's definitely, I've been getting my practice in it though. So hopefully now it's going to start looking a lot more like you would expect clouds to look in general. Um, there's a certain amount of like kind of pitting, I guess you want. But it's challenging. It's definitely not the typical kind of object that you'd sculpt, right? Um, oh boy. So anyway, transpose questions? No? Yes? Maybe? So I'll do this pitting and then I'll kind of smooth it out. And I kind of like the way that looks. Because the pitting right now looks more like an orange or like human skin almost. But then when you start to smooth it out, it kind of gives it a more gentle kind of inference of different textures on the clouds. But again, it still needs some refinement. I think I probably got better results here where there's probably a little bit more like bubbling, I guess. And maybe I need to find another alpha that kind of gives it a bit more that kind of random feel. Maybe this was the one, I think. Yeah, this is a little bit better. Um, Also, I should probably upgrade this. I should subdivide up a little bit. Um, but there's always that level of like definition and yet vagary to the shape of clouds. It's never super concrete. I mean, I guess you can kind of put some effort into that and definition for clouds, but I don't know. I'm finding that this kind of like gentle sort of disturbance of them and then smoothing it out, I think it works pretty well for this piece. Like I'm liking what happened over here. Now I'm just trying to remember how to replicate that because I'll go like I think the last time I worked on this was actually like 2020. Was the last time I touched this, so it's like a whole year went by where I wasn't even touching this. I think. I mean, I maybe touched it once or something, but I checked the file. The save file said it was last edited in 2021. So yeah, it's been a minute. Um, but I think it'll be awesome when it comes together, when it's finally done and lit up. I got these LEDs with little circuit boards already and everything that make the really bright white LED that's huge. It makes it like flicker and pulsate exactly like a lightning storm would. So it's going to be rad. I think it's going to be pretty freaking awesome when it's all installed and put together. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see this kind of finish. And it'll kind of be nice just to like put it on figuratively, literally, like put it on the shelf as a completed piece, and hopefully, you know, through friends of friends, be able to get it to John and maybe any other crew member that worked on. I think I'll give one to my my art director and friend Mishi McKegg. She's a fantastic artist and a fantastic person, and really just I've known her for years, and she was the one who really brought me on to Lion King. So I owe her a lot of thanks, and she's just been a great friend. She's been a really nice friend for a long time. So at least I could say as a little thank you is to give her something like this. Since we were collaborated on this, the initial concepts and ideas, and ran everything by her too. So yeah. So then you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll give one if I can get one to John. Maybe he can help me get one to Hans Zimmer, because again, I mean the Lion King soundtrack. Come on, like. Oh my God, that's just one of my all-time favorite soundtracks ever. 100%. Would also love to get this one to Elton John. That'd be really cool. Again, Elton's music, just all of his music. I mean, it's so much of his music has positively affected my life since I was very young. And then, of course, the Lion King music was like, come on, it's freaking awesome. It's just awesome is such a weak word. I think in this, we use it so frequently. It's like it doesn't even encapsulate how I actually, accurately feel about all this. But again, those are people I would love to give copies of this to, as just as a thank you. As something small to say, like, your work has meant a lot in my life, and it's been a very positive influence. And so I would like to give you hopefully a piece of art that you would appreciate and enjoy. If not, throw it away, but please don't tell me. But anyway, so yeah, this will be a pretty rad piece, I think, when it's done. But yeah, I should get going here. Expecting company actually very shortly, like in less than 10 minutes. So I need to kind of get my place in order and be ready. But anyway, so sorry if this is a little bit shorter than usual. I usually go from 2 to 4, but today it's about 2:15 to 3:27, 3:28. All right, so sorry, what was it? Tattoon, I didn't see a question from you, a follow-up for a question about the transpose line after my screw up. Thank you for reminding me it was Y. I was hitting everything else. I hit T, and I'm like, it's not T. It's right next to Y. But anyway, so yeah, we'll keep going on this. I'll hopefully wrap this up in the next month or so. And we can actually get some footage of me 3D printing it and putting it together, and the whole other side of things, because a lot of these have all been works in progress, like Cupid here. This is almost done. I got to redo the wings with the feathers and whatever, but we're pretty close here, I think. Got to tighten up the anatomy, on him, and probably a little bit on her, but not too much. I don't want it to look like they're like these, like every muscle's flexing, even though that's kind of what it looks like right now. Definitely gonna have to tighten up some things here. Like that body's really like, what's up with that topology? There we go. It's a bit more normal. But yeah, so I got to tighten up some things here. But yeah, this is another piece that I'll be happy to have done, and it'll just be it's just a personal art piece. It's just something I've been working on for years. But it should be awesome to see it printed on the Form 3. I did the original on an Ultimaker years ago for a masterclass with Wacom and Ultimaker at Wacom's experience space that they have in Portland. And took a while to print, but it all came together, and I showed it at the ZBrush Summit, I think, one time. And it's been to a few trade shows, I think, as well. But the original piece is him holding her, and it's a reimagining of Antonio Canova's original piece, which you can see in the Louvre and a few other places. But anyway, again, clouds, more dust clouds in this case. And Cloth Sim, Cloth Sim was all done in ZBrush. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, you'll find when I was working on this, if you're curious. Fun stuff, really fun stuff. Just trying to be imaginative with classic Greek mythology and creating something that's just beautiful and exciting. So anyway, alrighty, I think we're out for today. But yeah, hopefully you guys will join me next week. I'll be back next week for the second stream of the year for me. Same time, same channel. Hopefully it'll be from 2 to 4. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon, morning, whatever time it is in your place. And yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, get outside, get some fresh air. And I'll talk with everybody again soon. So thanks. Take care. Bye.